swim around. Here, try and hold. This is an arm bar. We're trying to hyperextend the elbow. You got that? Yes, sir. All right, give it a whirl. Don't break his arm. Just working out.
Oh!
Take 5, guys. Just take 5. Look, Kappa.
I know tempers were running high last show, but Kay, they managed to raise the stakes again on us. July 12th, the Ryse Rumble is now for the Ryse Grand Championship. Kay, it's been a year since I let that slip through my fingers, and I've realized opportunities at that don't come together every day, and I'll be danged if I'm letting another slip through my fingers.
That's all well and good, Paul. I'm not in that match to win the Ryse Grand Championship. Never was. I just want to get to the end of the longest, hardest match of the year to prove something to myself. That's my goal.
Well, I tell you what, Kay, if you got my back, I got yours. Nobody throws you out but me. How about that?
28 other guys between me and your goals. All right. Nobody throws you out but me.
Let's work out a little bit. What do you say? You ready?
Just like that. All right, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thursday Throwdown. My name is Jim Amott, being joined by the esteemed Ty Cross. And unfortunately, this week we're being kicked off with the fungus of professional wrestling, the Gavel, David Lawless. But he's got a tough test in front of him this week, Ty Cross.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not going to be a walk in the park for the Gavel. I'm excited for this contest, but Lawless really got a lot to prove here. Really, truly does. He wants to try to get himself into the title picture. This is a big step for Lawless to push himself back into contention.
Ty Cross, I think you can feel that Island Fury coming in from the north here. Tyino, a young man we saw take the big boss, Glenn Specker, to his limit, came up just a little bit short, but Tyino impressed Ryse management, and he is back here this time opposing the Gavel, David Lawless. But if you're Tyino, you better have eyes in the back of your head, because the Gavel, David Lawless, is just that devious.
have a prediction for this contest. I think the Gavel David Lawless is taking El Taino a little not as serious as he should. And I think that Island Fury is going to hit like a tidal wave to start this contest off.
And you may be correct, Ty Cross, as we are getting ready to kick off this edition of the Thursday Throwdown. Once again, I'm Jim LaMotta. You are Ty Cross. Referee Nick Brown assigned this contest. And if you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, we thank you if you're watching us on either Fayette TV or CalU TV. However you're getting your Ryse Wrestling, we certainly appreciate you being here with us this week.
Gavel's going to underestimate El Taino. This could be a bad time. Taino has a lot of offense that'll bring to the table here. And he has this crowd behind him to start the contest.
Corn elbow tie-up gets us started here. Always going to use his size advantage. Back Tyino into the corner. And one thing the Gavel is never short on confidence because he's so obnoxious. I'm going to need a Benadryl out here. I get hives when I have to deal with the Gavel out here. Other colon elbow tie up here. And again, Tyino, that's what he's going to have to do. Try to use that leverage and that speed. And Ty Cross, you're a veteran of this sport. What is it like for a young competitor to try to make a splash in a new organization the way that Tyino is trying to do that here in Ryse Wrestling?
First of all, Jim, make a splash was an excellent pun for Island Fury, El Taino.
I wish I could take credit for it. It was completely coincidental, but I'll take credit.
Beautifully executed. Tyino is stepping into a Ryse Wrestling company with, I believe an 0-1 record. There is a lot of ground to cover, but it's not always about wins and losses for Tyino. It's about the showing. If he could come out here and put up a good showing and show management he belongs, those losses might pile up early on, but you're still going to put yourself in a strong position. So Tyino wants this win, but more importantly than that, he wants to show that he belongs here in Ryse Wrestling with Ryse competition, like the Gavel David Lawless.
So a lot of valuable experience, you'd say, being inside the ring ropes with the Gavel David Lawless.
The Gavel has so many tricks, like you said, so devious. Tyino is going to learn from this tonight, for sure, but is he going to walk away with just a lesson or with a W as well?
Cat and mouse here. Tyino avoids the contact. Has the Gavel all out of sorts. Out the back door. Shoulders down. And you know this as well as anyone, Ty Cross. It takes just 3 seconds to secure that victory.
It can be lightning fast. Now, Gavel, very smart. You notice David Lawless never finds himself quite dead center in the ring. And that roll-up there, that was actually perfectly executed by Tyino, but because of Gavel's ring positioning, he's never in the dead center of the ring. He's able to always be just close enough to the ropes to get out of a situation, or like we saw right here, powder out of the ring.
I don't think he's safe out there. And what is the Gavel doing here? He is dictating the pace of this contest. Trying to slow Tyino down, but it could be that wave of momentum, pun intended that time. It could roll over the Gavel here if he's not careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, Ty Cross, we have to keep our eyes on July 12th, the Ryse Rumble, one of the biggest events on the Ryse calendar. Everyone here in Ryse Wrestling is trying to build that momentum for that signature card, July 12th here at the Union Town
That's
Hall.
what I'm saying. And you look, Tyino taking these stomps in the corner right now. That's what I'm saying about El Taino. A win here is huge, but showing that you have enough gumption to be put into the Ryse Rumble, for example, a great showing to prove that you can be a competitor. That is what is so important right now. And Gavel wants a definitive win. He doesn't just want to win. David Lawless wants a definitive win to prove that Tyino's not on his level.
And again, Tyino showing how important that momentum is because when he gets rolling, and right there, the Gavel shuts it off. One shot lowered the boom center ring. back press, lackadaisical cover, not enough body-on-body contact, not enough weight on the shoulders. But if you notice, the Gavel immediately transitions to the headlock to keep Taino on the canvas where you win the matchup.
Exactly. And you got to give Lawless credit here. I hate to say it, but Lawless has wrestled a pretty excellent contest so far. Not a lot of underhanded tactics, trying to maybe show management, hey, this is how great of a competitor I can be. You've been seeing it here. Other than that one time creating distance, giving himself a timeout, but Tyino fighting back here.
Under that time, oh man, once again, what ring positioning. You want to talk about ring generalship. That is exactly what the Gavel David Lawless did.
Absolutely.
Nice vertical leap to follow up. He knew where Taino was and made him pay for it. But once again, a very lackadaisical cover. That could be the one chink in the armor of the Gavel, is that overwhelming, oozing arrogance.
Absolutely.
Every time he's out here.
But if you look again, keeping Tyino in the center of the ring on all those maneuvers. Now, letting him create distance might be a mistake here. You've given Taino some recovery time, but that's that ego of Lawless. Hard whip into the buckle there.
And how important is, as an in-ring competitor as you were, how important is it for that ring positioning to be able to generate offense?
It's everything, because you want to make sure every move you hit is in a position where your opponent cannot get to the ropes, but you can. Because if you get caught in a flash cover, a flash pin, a quick submission, you need to be able to get to those ropes. That's why you'll see Lawless with the cover. Feet are always direction to the ropes, with Tyino dead center of the ring, so that Lawless in any situation is able to scurry.
Hooks that
but
leg.
Tyino can't.
Finds 2.5, and unfortunately we're seeing those pinfall attempts get closer and closer as the punishment leveled from the Gavel mounts on El Taino here.
And again, so impressive that David Lawless wrestling an excellent contest so far. But there you see the distance, creating that kind of distance against an electrifying competitor can be your undoing in a match like this.
And El Taino using the Gavel's momentum against him, using a defensive approach to create offense, is the Island Fury of Taino. And he may have knocked Lawless out. Both men down here, pivotal point in this contest, Ty Cross. We're going to see who can clear the cobwebs here, who is going to be victorious in our opening contest this week on the Thursday Throwdown.
Taino first to his feet.
You want to talk about closing the distance. And the Gavel, a rare situation where he's on his back foot. We don't see the Gavel in this type of trouble that often, I'll tell you that much. Big collision in the corner.
A huge back senton there. Very impressive offense from Island Fury. That would have been a gigantic upset and a huge statement maker for Island Fury El Taino in this contest.
And the Gavel David Lawless, one of the most experienced competitors on the Ryse roster. I believe Tyino, a 6 or 7 year pro. And wait a minute, the Gavel poked to the eye after exploiting the position of the referee.
And I had said it this whole match, how impressed I was with the Gavel David Lawless.
And it could be academic, and it is. The Gavel with an underhanded assist. The Gavel makes a statement ahead of the Ryse Rumble. The Ty Cross, we're not going anywhere because the blood feud, the intense rivalry continues when we come back. It is Tad Jarvis, Jace Mera in the dog collar match.
Dean thinks I'm intimidated. I love you. You versus the world, huh? Me versus 20 other people, that's fine by me. Fine by me. I know I deserve to be champion. You always have the heart of a champion. You gotta tell me. I know what I am. The writing of it is on the wall. You think that's just a damn moniker? You think that's just something cool to say when I walk out to the ring? No. It's an omen. That omen has proved I am champion. I'm going to stay champion. And in the Ryse Rumble, I'm walking out as champion. I don't care what I have to do. I'll snap necks. I'll slit the throat of the women in the ring. I'll do anything. I'll kick a child. I'll punch a baby in the face. Whatever it takes. You know what? I want everybody to draw a number, okay? I want everybody to pick a goddamn number and watch me continue my reign as Ryse Grand Champion.
Back here on the Thursday Throwdown, Jimamata Ty Cross. Ty Cross, the last time we saw Jace Mera in this building, it was under nefarious means, but he was able to go 1-up in this best of 3 series. That means this week on the program, if Jace Mera is victorious here, it's a clean sweep. It's over. All the pressure is on Tad Jarvis. His back is up against the wall here. Ty Cross, usually Jace Mera is very braggadocious, and usually Tad Jarvis is very energetic. Neither one of these athletes are in their usual frame of mind here because of that 12-foot dog collar that will link them together by the neck.
Some of the most violent contests in the history of this business, Jim, have been a dog collar match. We've seen it in the past. Are we going to see a dog collar match that lives up to the annals of this business's history? I think so, with the amount of disdain these two competitors have for each other.
Let's not forget Piper Valentine saw a broken eardrum in Pittsburgh circles. Mad Mike and Sherby Doe, two Pittsburgh legends, had a very violent dog collar match about 15 years ago. In Ryse Wrestling a few years ago, we had a tag team dog collar match between the Rad Boys and Dog Nation. And there's a reason why you don't see these matches very often.
It's been said so many times it's almost cliche, but it's true. One wrong torque or twist of that chain and that collar can do serious damage to the neck of either one of these competitors.
It's really important in my mind to really highlight the fact that these two are chained together literally like animals. I mean, they are chained together like feral animals.
Any single wrong move you see right there, Jace Mara knocked down. Immediately, did he hit his shoulder on the chain? Is that going to create extra impact, extra damage?
And he's got nowhere to go.
And it's not something you account for. Normally, you take a maneuver like that, you hit the ground, you get back up. When you hit that chain, does that throw off your game?
And the hatred between these two has been so well documented. These two former Ryse tag team champions, when they lost the championships, it was Mera that blamed Tad Jarvis. It was Mara that stabbed Tad Jarvis in the back.
Let me ask you this, Jim. Who got pinned in that tag team match?
Well, that was Tad Jarvis.
Well, does Jace Mara have a point? I'm not saying he was right the way he went about doing things, but he wasn't the one that got pinned. So does he have a valid, legitimate argument that he was not the weak link, pun intended, of that team?
I don't think Jarvis ever accused Mara of being a weak link. I think it was Mara that had the sour grapes. It was Mara that blindsided Jarvis.
Sometimes you don't know how to tell a friend that's over. Sometimes you don't know how to tell somebody to go home. You're ready for bed. If Jarvis overstayed his welcome in that friendship, Mara had no choice but to just rip the Band-Aid off and say, I'm done with you. Again, I don't agree with how he did it, but if you don't want to be in a tag team anymore, you shouldn't feel like you have to be. And Tad Jarvis has almost been, stalking Mara at this point because he feels disrespected. He was attacked, he was blindsided, but neither one of these competitors are able to let this thing go and move on. And you got to hope that this...
Wait, is Mara...
Oh, man.
Is he underneath the ring there?
I couldn't see from our vantage point. That's the thing. You cannot get away in this kind of situation.
The bottom line is this. If Jace Mara defeats Tad Jarvis here and wins this best-of-3 series, you're right in the sense that the argument over the weak link is over.
Absolutely.
Jace Mara will have bragging rights forevermore if he's victorious in this dog collar matchup.
Jace, I think, just went forehead first into that steel post. Oh,
as
no.
does Jarvis. And the clinking of that chain is just unsettling.
There's the first shot. The first use of that cold steel as a weapon against the forehead of Tad Jarvis.
We gotta get finished inside. I want you back in.
You can see the referee Nick stating that the end of this contest does have to happen in the ring.
Inside now.
So the pinfall must count in the ring. Again, no disqualifications. Pinfall and submission only. You can submit your opponent with that chain if you can get them in a position where they're strangled and want to give up. But that's it. Pinfall submission in the ring.
And you can hear the smack of the flesh, the physicality, and quite frankly, the personal hatred really on display between these two here. You don't end up in a dog collar match without a lot of personal animosity, a lot of personal hostility, and that's really what this is amounted to.
And it's because you risk so much in this kind of contest that the payoff has to be worth it. It has to be worth it to you to finally put somebody down for good. And we don't even know if this is for good. They might have to do this one more time. And look at Tad firing back here.
Jarvis trying to regain himself here, and it looks like he's cleared the cobwebs because he has an idea of what to do with that dog chain.
He's going to try to return the favor. No! And that boot to the chain that was wrapped around Tad Jarvis's knuckles, that might have resulted in broken knuckles right across the right hand of Tad Jarvis, which could be devastating for the long term of this contest.
Hearing the screams of Jarvis really shows you how dangerous this matchup is.
That chain was wrapped around the knuckles and was kicked right into the knuckle bones.
And I don't think it's any exaggeration to say that these two could be risking years of their career in this matchup.
Easily. Now that right hand and right arm area, wrist and hand have become the target of attack.
Mara very proud of himself, and maybe that's the side of Jace Mara that was there all along. It just took this team losing the tag titles to really bring out the true colors of Jace Mara.
Absolutely.
Because he's selfish, he's malicious, but the harsh reality is he may be victorious before this matchup is over.
He is just wrapping that steel chain around the ribs of Tad Jarvis. Just devastating offense right now. slow, methodical. And it is getting the job done, Jim.
This is nasty because this is Jace Mara using that chain to try to rearrange the facial features of Jarvis here. And quite frankly, this is getting a little uncomfortable to watch. I mean, this is not about a professional
He went under
contest.
the ring, Jim. Jace went under the ring. What's he have?
I can't tell. You'll have to.
I didn't mean to cut you off there. He's got a towel. Oh no! He is waterboarding Tad Jarvis.
We can't let this happen. I know it's a dog collar match, but this is sick.
That's a war crime.
This is sick.
That's a literal war crime.
Tad Jarvis proving that there's no low he will not sink to in this personal war with Tad Jarvis.
Oh, and again with the chain. A literal war crime in a wrestling ring. I never thought I'd see it.
Well, you want to know how demented Jace Mara is? That tells you the answer.
He's sick. He's been watching too many 2005 internet videos. Now the chain in the mouth against the teeth.
Ending Jarvis's career could be trivial compared to what Jace Mara was trying to accomplish. He could have drastically impacted Jarvis's livelihood.
What about the mental aspect of this? And look at Jarvis fighting back. The mental aspect. You were just waterboarded. You're being beaten with a chain. What does this do to you as a competitor when you're experiencing pain and torture that you've never felt before in a wrestling ring? Does this make you want to give up? I don't even think Jarvis maybe knew that Jace Mara was capable of this kind of violence.
Gavel.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh man, this is just as dangerous
Jarvis
because Mara's
sidestep.
going to get hung up. Mara is going to get strangled. Tad Jarvis.
Jarvis is trying to strangle, but Mara's fighting back. Unbelievable!
And this has become a war of attrition.
Tad Jarvis in a tug of war with that chain, and Jace Mara pulled Jarvis directly into that suicide dive.
We know that Tad Jarvis proudly served in the military. He finds himself in combat once again right now.
And now Jarvis able to shake the cobwebs, Jim. And you see both competitors, I believe, landed spine first across the chain that was caught underneath of them. That's what I was talking about at the beginning, Jim. You cannot prepare your body for this.
And somehow Jarvis could be looking to rally to end this one. Man, that is so dangerous with that chain.
Oh, no, 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 no.
He tried to dump Jarvis to the floor.
No, here we go, no. This is not what you want to see.
Jace Mara is hanging Tad Jarvis. We have to stop this. This is going too far.
Tad trying to make sure he can get any kind of slack on that chain. And all Mara has to do here is use his body weight.
Jace Mara is asphyxiating Tad Jarvis.
Tad's getting back to his feet, trying to close that distance. Tad able to get himself out of the strangled position. Now he's got to try to fight. And the chain connects to the skull.
I don't know how Jarvis is doing it, but it's all guts right here. He was being asphyxiated by that dog collar.
Wait a second, what's this?
And I think Tad is wrapping his body in that
He
chain.
wrapped it around his shoulder.
Tad Jarvis is gonna be a kamikaze. He's gonna sacrifice himself.
He hit a spear! He hit a spear with the chain, Jim! This is over. Unbelievable.
Jarvis looks shocked, and quite frankly, so am I.
Tad Jarvis wrapped that chain around his shoulder and used it as a weapon, connected with a spear, thinking that could be all.
And you can see Jarvis now favoring those ribs.
He's favoring the shoulder from that. Oh no!
And this series could be over right here.
I think this is it. I don't think there's going to be a game 3. Mara, is he looking for that leg drop again?
This could be a mistake.
Oh, here we go. He's wrapping the chain around the thigh. He's going to go for that leg drop, Jim.
He could be taking too much time. Oh, that was a nasty landing. Jarring the knee, the ankles.
Oh, the hand. I forgot about those knuckles in the hand.
Look out. Jarvis could be fighting with a broken hand. That's a lot of tenacity right here. Tad is sacrificing his own body to inflict more punishment on Jace Mara.
The right hand, the right shoulder. That entire right upper body has taken so much abuse. Oh wait, what is this?
Look out. Look out. Wait a minute, Jarvis hooked his legs.
He's got the chain too.
Tad got it.
He used momentum and he used that chain to tie up the legs of Jace Mara for the pin, Jim.
It was a matter of inches. But Tad has got the victory. And now this best of 3 series goes to the final fall.
What a great dog collar match that was. Give it up. Looks like you're on the losing end of the stick that time, Jace. I'm not going to shut up. But what that means is we have one more to go. So at the Rumble, it's going to be Jace Mara versus Tad Jarvis. And we will see who the true Iron Man is between the two of you. In a 25-minute Iron Man match. See you next month, kids.
What an announcement. July 12th, an Iron Man match at the Ryse Rumble, Jim.
That's the ultimate gut check. We're going to see, can Jace Mara outlast Tad Jarvis? Can Tad Jarvis outlast Jace Mara? We're going to find out not only who wins the best of 3 series, but who is the true Iron Man of Ryse Wrestling.